Yeah. Yeah. Put it on the screen, live stream though.
Oh, actually, the live stream.
We could do two things at once.
1.0, opening meeting at 6:45 PM. Is there a request for an interpreter? Okay. 2.0, call to order. 3.0, roll call. Juan Pablo Huerta, student board member.
Here.
John Vasquez.
Here.
Alice Lopez is absent. Isamar Hernandez.
Here.
John Alvarez.
Here.
And myself. Would everyone please stand for the flag salute? Should I have your FFA students?
Yes. If we could have our wonderful FFA students lead us in the pledge.
Ready? Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Four adoption of the agenda. 4.1, adoption of the agenda is requested as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by John Alvarez, second by Isamar Hernandez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 5.0, consent calendar. 5.1, approval of regular board meeting minutes for October 11th, 2022.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by John Alvarez, second by Isamar Hernandez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
3-0-1. 5.2, approval of release warrant dated September 29, 2022, in the amount of 1,037,124,058. October 4th, 2022, in the amount of $5,324.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. Five point three, approval to attend AXA Superintendent Symposium on January 25th through the 27th, 2023 at Monterey, California.
Motion. with
Second.
Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Mr. Alvarez?
You need to take a board member with you, so choose someone. Okay.
I'll send you pictures.
All right.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 6.0, awards and presentations. 6.1, student board member report.
Good afternoon. The junior class is selling candy grams during lunch for any students. Last week on Friday, our Aztec football team had a home game where we went against Orange Cove and came out with the win. It was also our senior night where we got to present to the public who were our seniors on the team and on the band. Speaking of senior night, the volleyball team also had their senior night. That night, we went against Woodlake, where we came out with a win, and the school's first league title in volleyball. And today is their first playoff game. Farmerville High School just made history with their first ever water polo game yesterday. Upcoming, FHS is currently getting ready for Halloween and the Day of the Dead. Also coming up is the fall band concert featuring the Aztec Band and the Falcon Band on Wednesday, October 26, 6:30 p.m. at the high school stage. On the last meeting, October 11, Ms. Isamar Hernandez gave me some homework. She told me to ask my peers what are some student issues around the school that need to be improved. and today I came with those results. Many students have requested cameras outside of the locker room doors so they can see who walks in and who walks out, because many students have gotten their money and other items stolen. Something else that kids want is the water fountains to get looked at, because the water tastes like chemicals. Lastly, many of the students have been wanting to get all the restrooms open during lunch and break. These are all the things that many of the kids want them to improve if possible. Thank you.
So,
No other announcements?
Thank you.
this is great. Yeah, one more. Uh-huh.
I have one more.
We talked about it.
Oh,
you
the
did
band.
mention the
Yeah, I
band?
already did that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right,
Good job.
thank you. 6.2, Dr. Brent Calvin College of the Sequoias University Center Plant and related bond measure.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Board members, thank you for the time. And Dr. Chavez, welcome to our community. May you stay a long time. If we can just get this up on the screen. I'm here to talk about Measure C, which is the College of the Sequoias' attempt to solidify and broaden our partnership with Fresno State University. There we go. Got a good shot of it right there. This would sit, I'll have a video here in a moment, but it would sit on the southwest corner of Tulare and Mooney, right at the south portion of our campus. Many of you are too young to remember this, but for us old timers, this region, Tulare County and the cities, went after the next UC campus really aggressively back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Unfortunately, Merced was given that UC campus, and we missed out on it. And there was a lot of talk at that time about this region bringing its own publicly funded university to the area, so our students wouldn't have to travel to Fresno or Bakersfield or even further than that. But unfortunately, for 25 years, nothing's really happened on that. And in that time, we've become the second largest county in the state out of 58, second largest without a publicly funded four-year university. We're also the second lowest county in the state in terms of bachelor degree attainment. That's not a list that we want to be on. And so in about 5 years ago, in 2016, we partnered with Fresno State. We gave them essentially a brand new building to come and offer four-year degrees to students in this region. You have to get an AA degree from COS or Porterville or West Hills, Reedley, and then you can come to Fresno State right on the Visalia campus and get one of, currently it's one of 5 bachelor degree programs. And then if you finish one of those, there's also 2 master's degree programs. They started with a business degree back in 2016. They added the teacher prep program, which I want to talk about in just a moment. Then they started the registered nurse to BSN, Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Then this fall was criminology, and then next fall will be ag science. They also have a master's in education as well as a master's in public administration, which are all fabulous programs. And you can see here how popular Fresno State is with students in this region. If you take all the students from our zip codes and you look, about on average 5,000 students a year leave this region to go to Fresno State. That's a lot. And we really believe that a high percentage of those would prefer to live at home and just come to Visalia for their 4-year degree. And then you can also see that first line shows the number of students since 2017 that have used the Visalia campus, 3,700 students. So clearly it's resonating with residents here. They want a 4-year university closer to home. So this is a little video just to kind of give you an idea about where this sits. I don't know if I can start this. There you go. You got it? Oh, there you go. So there's our football stadium, our big parking lot. So we're coming down Tulare and we hit Mooney Boulevard. Now we'll slow it down. Right there on our left right now is our university center. We'll come back to it. It comes through the middle of campus and now down the left-hand side. If you've been to Visalia, left-hand side, there is our Educational Support Services building that's currently being constructed. That has nothing to do with this bond. This, however, is the University Center, which would house Fresno State as well as several other universities, which I can get to in a moment. But Fresno State is the one we have the partnership with right now. We just think this would be a fabulous addition to Tulare County. And those are the 4 degrees or 5 degrees they have right now. But it's their intention to add more as they have space available for that. I think I have a couple of, well, this just talks about the cost. Currently, we're down at the bottom of that list. COS, the people in this region pay $3 a year per 100,000 assessed. So if you own a $200,000 home, you pay $6 a year. All those big top lines are other communities like West Hills Lemoore, West Hills Coalinga. Who else is on there? Merced is on there. Those get up into the $40 or $50 per 100,000 assessed. That gets pretty expensive. What we've proposed for Measure C to bring Fresno State here is $13 per year per 100,000 assessed. So again, if your house is $200,000 assessed, it'd be about $26 per year. If it's 300, it'd be $39. $400,000 would be $50 per year. Still a lot less than those other communities. And this is just a whole bunch of math to say we've been very conservative in this number. Over the last 20 years, the assessed value in this region has grown by 5.67%. We've based our numbers only on 3.5%, which means our number, $13, is a high estimate. We're basically under promising so we can over deliver. We really believe this will end up being about $8 per year per 100,000 assessed. It'll cost the average taxpayer in our region somewhere between $20 and $35 per year. Here's my pictures I wanted to show you. Again, they're on the left, right along Mooney Boulevard, is our Educational Support Services building, not part of this Measure C bond, but important nonetheless. That's where all of our tutors, our math lab, our writing center, all those sorts of things will be housed. On the right is a student union that will combine bookstore and food services, as well as veteran services and several other student-related service programs. Nice courtyard between the two of those. And then here comes the University Center. If you've been on our campus, you know that Shady Avenue runs through the middle of our campus. That's it, right in front of us there. The city will allow us, City of Visalia will allow us to abandon that road and just have it an internal. It won't run all the way out to Tulare Avenue. So that whole area out front will be a nice courtyard for our students to have lunch and hang out and so forth. You get the gist. We wanted to do something very nice because if students are going to stay home and get their 4-year degree while living at home, we wanted to make it really nice so they don't feel like they're just getting a 4-year degree in like a strip mall somewhere or something like that. But again, we feel like we've made it very affordable relative to other colleges in our region as well. So before I open it up to any questions, I have just 5 or 6 that these are frequently asked questions that I've been asked over the last couple of months. And first of all, it's why is COS leading this effort? And I guess the best answer is I don't care about it. If COS doesn't care about it, who will? We've invested $7 million into this project, and it won't bring us one dime of extra revenue. Like once students graduate from COS, which they can do now on their own, they go to Fresno State here or they go to Harvard, it makes never mind to us. We don't get any extra revenue for those students, but we really firmly believe this region needs its own publicly funded 4-year university. And we stepped up after 25 years of inactivity on the county and city's part. We stepped up and said, it's worth $7 million out of our reserves to try to make this thing happen. We think it's too important for the students here to have the option to stay home in their home county and get a 4-year degree. We feel like it's that important. So that's why COS is doing it. And I would defy anybody to find another agency anywhere that would kick forward $7 million for something that really doesn't benefit them directly, at least financially. Obviously, it's a nice feather in our cap. We'd love to have it on our campus, but we won't see an extra dime of revenue as a result. We talked about how much it'll cost the average property owner. It's $13 per $100,000 assessed. We don't think it'll be that much, but I like to, again, under promise and over deliver. Fresno State is the CSU that we currently have the relationship with. They've been fabulous partners, and they will have kind of first right of refusal on what programs they want to keep and expand and so forth. But once they're done, we have Vanguard, Azusa Pacific, Grand Canyon University, and Arizona State University that have all contacted us. Like, they've contacted us to say, when Fresno State ends up deciding what they want to offer, let us get in there and offer some things too, because they recognize this is a large valley and there's not a whole lot of coverage between Bakersfield and Fresno. So we'll sprinkle in some opportunities around Fresno State, but Fresno State will be able to choose what programs they want to offer. There are a few other examples in the state of this kind of partnership. If you've been to Magic Mountain, you've seen the College of the Canyons University Center that's directly over the 5 freeway. That's a good example. They partner with UCLA, Cal State Northridge, and some other CSUs to keep students in that North LA County area. But not a lot. And I don't think any of them have the relationship that we have with Fresno State. Some people have also talked about the California community colleges like us offering bachelor's degrees. There is a little movement that allows select community colleges to offer a 4-year degree, but it can't be in an area that a CSU or a UC already offers. So the few that are offered by community colleges are in things like not underwater basket weaving, but things that the average student would want to take, not in business, not in education, not in nursing, not in those real popular programs. So we think that's a long way off before the College of the Sequoias is allowed to offer 4-year degrees. And then finally, could this partnership lead to something even larger? And I say absolutely it can. This is our opportunity to have a publicly funded 4-year university in our county that will be here for 100 years. I mean, the office it's nice, we've renovated it, but the office that I work in has been there for almost 100 years, for 92 years. This will be in the county, in Visalia for the next 50, 75, 100 years. And I think in that time, we'll be able to expand it. Jim Costa has already called. He's a federal legislator. David Valadeo as well. They've called to say, how can we come along the college and make this even bigger once it passes? So I really feel like we have the right momentum going in the same direction. And once it's built, I really do think it can lead to something larger, not only for the students that are here in attendance, but their kids and their grandkids. I think this is really important for our region. And I would just thank you for your support come November 8th. Thank you very much. Any questions for me?
Oh, sounds fantastic.
Let's go. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Yes.
How will this affect the cost of students going to a 4-year university outside of tuition and, outside of room and board?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Wimp. I think the tuition would stay about the same. So for Fresno State, it's about $8,500 to $9,000 per year. You can come to College of the Sequoias virtually for free. We have several programs that about 80% of our students come and get a 2-year degree for free. And then you walk across the street to Fresno State, and even without financial aid, it's about $8,000 to $9,000 a year. So for under $20,000 without financial aid, you can have a 4-year degree. Now, 70% of our students get financial aid. If you have that, then it's a fraction of that. A big cost of getting a 4-year degree is going away and living in an apartment somewhere. And if you're living at home, you're saving about $10,000 a year. That's huge. So for the students that leave as freshmen and spend 4 years somewhere, tuition and room and board is at least $20,000 to $25,000 a year. You're looking at $100,000 a year before you're done. In this scenario, even without financial aid, it'd be less than $20,000. Huge factor. There's kind of 3 factors here. One is let's knock down the student debt. Let's not make it so expensive for students to get a bachelor degree. Let's also keep our students local so that they can be hired locally, so we don't have that brain drain. I was out in Cutler Orosi a couple weeks ago, and I met an administrator that had left Orosi High School 25 years ago and went to Cal State LA, did her student teaching in Los Angeles. Well, what happens when you do your student teaching in Los Angeles? The people in Los Angeles, they hire you, right? And all of a sudden 20 years go by. You guys don't understand that, but we understand 20 years go by like that, and pretty soon you're stuck in the South Basin down there. That's what happened to her. We have that brain drain issue. And then finally, there's employers that I serve on the work investment boards, the Chamber of Commerce's, the Economic Development Commissions. There are employers that look at our region all the time in terms of relocating, because we have affordable housing. We have a lot of things going for us here. But one thing we don't have going for us is an educated workforce, unfortunately. They see that, oh, you're second lowest on the list for bachelor degree attainment. And so we get a lot of the Amazons and the UPSs, kind of the manual labor jobs, but we don't have the higher paying jobs moving in here all that often because they're looking at those stats. I think with a university, we can start to change those stats. And I think employers will take a longer look at relocating here because we know it's great. And we just have to convince the Trader Joe's and people like that we're great. Anyway, great question. Thank you. Any more questions before I let you get on with your regular meeting? Yes.
I do have a question.
Sure.
So say that this measure passes, when would the estimated completion date be?
We would shoot, and if my dean of facilities was here, he'd knock me out. But we're going to shoot for fall of 2026. More than likely, fall of 2027, because we have a whole year of design and then probably 6 months of getting it approved at the Division of the State Architect. So that gets us into spring of 2024, right there before we break ground. And it's probably a at least a 2-year construction program. So we really have to hustle to be open for fall of 2026. Maybe a soft opening spring of 27 with the masses coming in fall of 2027. We'll hustle though. Trust me, we'll hustle. Fresno State wants us to hustle because they're maxed out. They're maxed out in the building that we've given them. Those programs are very, very popular, especially, I told you I'd come back to the teacher prep program. If you go to Fresno State after getting your AA at COS, if you go to Fresno State and want to be a teacher, right now it's about a 3 or 3.5 year wait for you to get your bachelor's, your credential, and your student teaching done. About 3.5 years. They'll tell you that. Here at the Visalia campus, it's 2 years. They only take 2 cohorts of 25, but it's 2 years. You've got your undergrad, your credential, and you've done your student teaching. And you've done your student teaching at Visalia, Farmersville, Exeter, Woodlake, and you're getting hired by those agencies as well. Instead of you all having to drive to the Bay Area or LA and convince would-be teachers down there or up there to come here and then stay, right? So we really think this is a good plan on a lot of levels, and we hope it passes on November 8th. So thank you so much for giving me some time, and we'll see you in the spring. One more question?
Yes, the gentleman right here.
Oh, sorry.
She stole your question? Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
I couldn't agree with you that this is going to benefit everyone in this valley, especially since some of us had kids going to schools. It's like $800 or $900 for an apartment, and you're looking at $400 to $500 in food a month. So it's definitely going to help them stay home, save that money, and have less debt when they graduate.
Let's go. Let's get this
Yep.
thing passed. Thank you so much. We'll
Thank
see you in
you.
the spring, okay?
You got it?
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Six point three FFA presentation.
I'll do it. Thanks for having us. We just wanted to give you guys a little update of just what's going on in our program and successes, and hopefully answer any questions you guys might have. And so feel free to stop me along the way. I'm going to try to make this somewhat, well, I'm not going to talk a little bit. But here is our officer team -1. And so Sarah's going to jump at you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sarah Garcia, and I am the chapter president. So I'm going to be starting off with our, with our summer retreat that we had this past summer. And this retreat consisted of us planning out our school year as far as fundraising, our monthly chapter meeting activities, and our, as well as, our competitions and our dress-up days. And not only did this make planning our year easier, but it also consisted of communication skills and recognizing our strengths and weaknesses as an officer team. And with that, I also learned how to really bond with my advisors and this amazing group of members.
Actually, this is me. We had a member not be able to make it. So we had a pretty successful fair. I think the most successful fair since I've been here at Farmersville High School. This is a picture of all of our poultry exhibitors. Malia is one of them. She'll try to hide, but her brother Caesar actually was the reserve champion meat pen. And so there he is with his poultry team. They did it as a group. Miss Moran did an amazing job. Raised chickens as a group on the farm, took turns feeding, doing all the chores. And then at the end, I believe Miss Moran kind of had them draw and pick the 2 birds because a meat pen is a pair of 2 birds. And so then they all sold, and that was awesome. We also had our single goat exhibitor, who is Iris Salazar, and she placed reserve lightweight champion and actually made the cut for novice showmanship, goat showmanship. And so she got to go in the ring a couple more times. It was kind of funny. She's like, am I done yet? I'm like, nope, you just keep getting better every time. And then we had 4 students, Genesis, Kaylee's not here, Ulysses, and Camilla. Camilla and Kaylee showed breeding ewes, which were ewes that the school owns and we're going to retain as breeders. And they placed, Kaylee was second. I have to read. Kaylee was second, Camilla was 5th, and Genesis placed 3rd in her class. She did really, really good. And Ulysses placed 4th. So this is the first time that I've had every single one of our students in the sheep show ring and goat show ring place in the top 5 in their class. So, and those are all homegrown. We bred them, we raise them, we lamb them out. And so it's kind of a testament to the whole department, the team, the students who are doing it. So it's fun. Kaylee Villarreal, who unfortunately wasn't able to make it tonight, sold Bella, our first dairy heifer, to my knowledge. So that was fun to watch. At the time she sold, she was the 2nd high selling animal through the dairy sale. And she did really well. She also had a 2nd animal or 2nd dairy heifer that she'll sell next year. So she had 3 animals at the fair. And then Camilla showed her Spice Girls rabbits and sold them. So that was cool. And I think I'm done on fair. Any questions so far? No? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Roxana Vasquez. I will be talking about the Chapter Officer Leadership Conference. So on Saturday, September 24th, the high school chapter officers attended the COLC at Menachie High School. We were able to meet other officers from schools such as Exeter, Lindsay, Woodlake, and Inuba, among others. We attended leadership workshops led by the Sequoia section officers. We learned how to manage our time, how to use social media to engage with parents and students, how to improve our communication skills, and how to deal with our mental health. Overall, it was a helpful and great experience. Thank you.
She's our shy one.
Hi.
Where'd you go? This is Malia. Malia tries to be shy. She's not. You went to sectional officer leader, or sorry, not sectional activity effective. It's okay. You roller skated? Had you roller skated before?
No.
Did Caesar learn to roller skate, your brother? No? Maybe?
Sarah.
Question mark. We had some kids fall, right? It was a good time. So sectional activities, basically all of the chapters from our area, our section go and they try to do some like social activities where they're able to meet new people, and that way they're engaging with people outside of their school circle. And so they used to have like meetings, and I think then after that they have the activity. I didn't actually attend this one, Miss Mine did. You're good, you're good.
We didn't have a meeting. So.
Oh, no meeting this time. You got all
We just walked in.
Do you have anything else you want to add about that?
No.
Okay, you're good.
Hi, I'm Viviana. I am your chapter reporter, and for homecoming week, for the homecoming float, we decided on Coco, which was part of the theme of movie mania. And overall, we had 13 FFA members, including officers, help with the float. And it was a great experience because we all worked on it together, even though it was a little bit stressful, but it ended up great. So, yeah.
Hello, I'm Genesis, and I'm your guys' treasurer. And I'm going to be talking about opening and closing. As you guys can see in the photo, this is our officer team. It was not our official competition. There was our practice, which took place in Mount Whitney. This, as you guys can see, is our Sequoia sectional opening closing contest. We took 3 teams. Our officers division team placed 2nd out of 10. We had an open division team. Greenham freshman division team placed 2nd overall in their class. Roxana Vasquez, which she's right here, placed officer division outstanding secretary. And Jonathan Alvarado placed 1st in division for outstanding sentinel. And Diana Santillan placed 1st also for division outstanding treasurer.
All right. Last but not least, we have Greenhand Leadership Conference, which was held at Fresno State. And it is only open for freshmen. So we had 8 members attend. And basically, Greenhand Leadership Conference it allows you to work as a team with other students from different schools, as well as opening up your comfort zone a little bit and kind of socializing with other students and opening your knowledge about the ag industry. And I personally attended this conference last year, and I had a really great experience. I saw an old friend. I also got to meet a lot of other kids from different chapters, and that closes our slides.
Just kidding, I have one more.
Sorry about that. Okay, so upcoming FFA events we have is our monthly meeting, which is our monthly meetings. We have our meeting tomorrow, which is pumpkin carving, and next we have our leadership development event, which is, these are competitions that some are kind of open to all grade groups and some are closed to, I believe.
Creed is the only one that's closed.
Yeah, I believe it's just Creed speaking, which is for freshmen. And job interview, impromptu, extemporaneous, prepared speaking is open for, I believe, all grade groups as well. And we have, as well as Made for Excellence Advanced Leadership Conference, which are conferences which are coming up in February, and our career development events, which are Citrus, Banking, Co-op, BIG, Floral, and Vet Tech. And then in March, we have State Leadership Conference, and towards the end of the year, we have our banquet, which is in May.
So to kind of reiterate, CDEs or career development events are basically teams that, just like a sports team, our students can represent the high school and learn knowledge and skills that can relate to ag careers. as well as obviously the socializing and getting them to travel the state at the contest. Miss Moran did 4 or 5 different floral contests with students last year, and then we NVIG and participated, and we went to San Luis Obispo is the state final. So basically like the final countdown, right? Or the end game is try to place there. And so Citrus is just to this area, looking at different defects and things that you can see in citrus, pests, things that happen to trees. And so very relatable to ag careers in this area. Banking is more of an ag business. Cooperative marketing is more of an ag business, looking at ag business structures and kind of giving some students some background knowledge about that. Floral allows students to learn hands-on floral design skills as well as identification of tools and plants and flowers. And vet tech is similar to floral in that there's a hands-on practicum, like, okay, today we need to have you show us how to halter a horse, or put a cat in a bag in preparation for some veterinary procedure, or giving an injection, and then also identifying things via test and stuff. So we're trying to do some of that in our classes and allow students more opportunities and get them out of Farmersville and traveling. And I think we have more students who are excited about doing that, but it's just one more thing. So we want to make you aware because we haven't really done it in the past. So we'll send you guys a formal invite to our end of year banquet. That's in May, but we're already, thinking about things like that. So any questions or things we can answer for you guys?
I have a couple questions. So the first one, so I saw, love an all-girls team. That's great. But I know that historically in the state of California, there's a male ag teacher shortage. And typically they come from FFA programs. What would the program need to get more boys involved? Because I did notice that there's kind of a lack of boys
We've
involved.
noticed that too. We're excited that this year we had student males not jumping, but they were joining our speaking teams pretty easily, and they did well. So I don't know about Miss Moran, but I always say success breeds success. So I think as long as we can keep dipping our toes into success, like our Green Hand team, won its division last year. Those individuals all wanted to go back and compete because they know they can do it. It shows that Farmersville can do it just as well as anybody else and better. And so I think, a male ag teacher would be great. I've kind of been wanting that for a while. There's people who want to come to Farmersville. We have to have the position. I know that I think we've been growing. I think we could do it. I think it's just going to have to be a conversation to be had. Maybe not right now. But no, I think mechanics is where we lose our students. Honestly, a lot of our freshmen, we don't see them as sophomores. Our boys as freshmen, that is, we don't see them as sophomores because a lot of them are jumping in the shop. It's more hands-on. They're seeing careers they want to go into versus I want to be a vet tech or animal production or floral design.
And my other question is there anything that our ag department currently needs to continue the success that you guys are having?
I might defer to some of the, I could give you a list and I
would
will
like to speak on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this past summer, I have come constantly, and for the first 2 months of school, I've constantly come to raise chickens with other individuals. And we've had a little bit of setbacks due to 2 or 3 chickens dying. And with that, I really think that we could maybe invest in a temperature-controlled animal barn, because I, as well as another individual, plan on doing swine, and swine are very sensitive to the heat. And I would not like to have that fear of that animal being in distress or in heat throughout the summer, because throughout the summer, I am taking care of that animal and raising it for the fair that will be coming up in the beginning of the school year, as well as maybe having a covered area where my advisors could sometimes teach the class outside to show us practices used on the animal or with the animal, or maybe having that outside facility. So whenever I need to work with my animal for showmanship, I could work with it in a shaded and maybe even a cool area, as well as maybe even adding a washroom or bathroom, because sometimes the restrooms aren't open to us after school, or even during class when we're finished with a certain project. in the OH or farm unit, some students wash their hands with the hose. And I've had to experience that over the summer as well as during school. So I would really appreciate maybe if we can improve those facilities with a bathroom, a cooler area for those certain animals that need it.
I know that when you take an animal project on, you become financially responsible for this project. Should the animal die over the summer, do you still incur those fees as a student?
I believe we still do.
So you can end up paying for an animal that you can't show.
Mhm. So that's where it really,
Or having
Kind
an
of.
animal that doesn't eat because it's hot or get sick and then they don't make weight and then you can't sell them or something like that. So there's a lot of different factors. Similar to the breed success thing, it's a lot easier to draw people into a program that has, I think we're making progress in the right direction, but when you have facilities that are more like what we're trying to put them into career-wise, it's easier to draw students in. I mean, not to say make things easier, but there's no reason that students showing pigs or lambs or anything should be, hey, we have to go work our animals, and unfortunately we don't have any shade. So 105-degree heat, here we go, let's try to make this work. And
So the insurance on animals, do we have insurance that
there is
covers?
insurance, yeah. So
Does
it's
it cover-
about $20 for the entire project, and so it's like 3 months project, and so it's about $20 for a pig or lamb, and so that covers accidental death. I would have to look and see if heat stroke would be covered there, but I know, say for example, it got some weird parasite or disease or pneumonia, it should cover in that case. But then we still have to have a vet come out, and there's a fee associated with the vet of, hey, yes, is this accident? You need to sign off on this paperwork that says this happened for them to be able to collect on that.
Yeah.
And it might not be the whole entire cost of their project.
Yeah.
So
We've had animal deaths before, right?
Yeah. And we did,
it was a good year.
we used to have a swine building. We had mini split air conditioners on there. We put that in several years ago. We used to raise them.
That was more of a breeding. I
Yeah.
think that was like where they bred them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did. That was one of the things when the shop came in that it was supposed to be like a, let's put it back in, reinstall, and that didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Okay. Okay.
Not that we're ready to breed pigs, but
Yeah.
it would be nice to have
Yeah.
pigs where they weren't going to die. At
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Have you had a chance to look at Strathmore's new facilities?
One more time?
Strathmore High School?
I haven't, but it's actually, that was last year, my regional supervisor, when I kind of mentioned that I found out last October we're moving the farm. I don't know if that's still happening, but that was one of her recommendations is we look at Strathmore and Lindsay, actually. They both have newer facilities that are very similar in terms of like, I think they both, I don't think Strathmore does, but I know that Lindsay has like a small breeding flock of sheep as well. And so those are two facilities that were recommended to look when the time comes to, hey, we got to start drawing up plans. I think the thing that worries us in our department is it sounds like there's already money budgeted for a new state-of-the-art farm, but if we don't know what we're building, how do you budget money for it? So I think that's one of my concerns, and knowing that we work really hard for the progress we have out there, I would hope it's not something that's just going to be like, wham, bam, it's out. So
It would be probably good to go out there in Strathmore. My understanding is the facilities are for breeding and also a very like laboratory
they
environment.
have like like they sell like a market, like they have a farm market. I was literally just past there the other day. They have a farm market. I do know that their facilities are like their barns are like, we need to make sure we didn't do this. They're facing the wrong way, so they're going to get sun the wrong time of day, but they are very nice. I agree. So wish list item to go out there and write down notes and get their plans.
I guess based on that question, Ms. Westbrook, how do we compare to schools of a similar size and demographic?
As far as
Facilities-wise.
Facilities-wise, well, I mean, there's a brand new. So Strathmore, Lindsay have us beat 100%. I don't know about Orosi. I've never been there. And so in that capacity, I don't know. Those would probably be the most similar. I know that, like, I was at Granite Hills. They don't have anything. Natchez is actually just still finishing up being built. So, I mean, everyone's getting newer and the latest and greatest. So I would say we're not comparable to anyone. But again, I don't want to sound complaining because again, we're leaps and bounds from where I started here 10 years ago. We still have the same truck, but that's another thing. But it would be nice. I've had students say, you know, it'd be nice if we show up to events and we're a little bit more proud of the vehicle we're in. And a wash job only does so much when you have someone pull in like their second new vehicle in, you know, the time that student's been in high school. So there are things that I think Miss Moran's done an outstanding job in coaching our students in public speaking. I don't know why you're not up here. But anyway, she's the guru behind making sure that our students are polished for speaking. Sarah went to regional. I've never had a student do that in Creed. She was mentioning that they also opened up Spanish Creed this year. So we're hoping to work with our Spanish teachers and try to have them, because any student in our program can do that, senior to freshman. And so that's just they recite the creed. And so a lot of students have really good memory. It's more of how can we make sure that you're comfortable presenting and talking in front of people, and whether you're in agriculture or education or anything. I always tell students, no matter what you do, you need communication skills. You need to be able to work with other people. You need to be able to work on a team and talk to people. So you might not like it, but you'll get better the more you do it, right? So I don't know where I was going with that. I decided.
I believe last meeting we asked Pat to probably take a look into a new truck and a new trailer for you guys. So
We have a trailer. It's not really it's relatively new trailer. So I don't want to knock our trailer at all. It's just, it's not, with the number of animals, I think I took four, maybe 5 trips just one way, just loading in and then loading out.
But it won't hurt to have a new.
No, I'm never gonna complain when it
Just
comes
saying.
to, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
Thank you.
I did
Good
mention
job,
this the meeting after the fair, but I did have the chance to go out there and see the projects, and I'm really proud of how our students conducted themselves, but the work that they did. I was really I went with my coworkers and I was like, those are my kids, those are my Farmersville kids, and they were impressed as well. So keep up the great work. You and Miss Moran are doing a fantastic job, and I was an FFA student when I was in high school, and you are 100% correct. There is bounds and leaps, from where we were, but I know that we can definitely do a lot better for our students in this department.
And I'm sorry, I'm just gonna drag this out. You mentioned how do we compare facility wise?
Mhm.
We already talked about that. How do we compare, at our speaking competitions? None of those other schools even place. They barely show up, right? So that's the other thing, is when we go places, we do want to be a presence at the fair that people are noticing us because our pens are clean and we're doing well. And so we want to do well. We can do well. We should do well. There's no reason we shouldn't. So success breeds success. We're going to keep, trying to do that.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, if we can line up here, FFA, board members, if you want to go down for a picture.
Doesn't matter. Just
Take your time.
Go ahead.
That way you know where you're from. And
you guys have questions.
I have 2, one for you, one for your.
Okay. Make sure we're always.
Three. 1, 2, 3.
Let's give them a round of applause.
Sorry. 6.4 special education presentation.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. our superintendent, Dr. Chavez, my esteemed colleagues, and most of all, welcome to our students and our families that are in attendance. We always appreciate this time with you. So for you tonight, I have an update on special education. We'll call it Special Education Part 1 because I'll be coming back again in another couple weeks with more of a strategic plan for you. But I wanted to go back and visit a document I had provided to you back in July with some preliminary planning for the year, and then just bring you some updates on that and a couple areas of focus that we're going to be working on, hopefully in the very near future. Okay, so this was our beginning slide, part 1, part 2. Here we have our current students, caseloads of students on IEPs. As you can see, we have about 190 students that are on IEPs and receiving various services. We have about 102 students that are also receiving speech services. They might be receiving other services, or they might just be receiving speech services alone. And then I did put how many teachers we have providing support for each of those student caseloads at each of our school sites here in Farmersville. My next slide, the how are we doing slide. A lot of the things are working very well. And so let's see, I forgot to wear my glasses. One of the things I'm really proud of for our team this year is that our highly qualified teachers are providing all of the instructional minutes outlined in each individual IEP. So students are receiving very intentional support, both outside the classroom if they need it, as well as inside the classroom if they need it, and that is preschool through 12th grade. One of the other things I'm really happy about is just the partnership with our administrators at the school sites. You know, part of this work moving forward is just that it's so imperative that we develop close relationships based on mutual respect, the ability to have really dicey conversations if we need to about what students need, talking about our programming, talking about our facilities, and talking about how to provide the best environments for all of our students to learn in. And so I'm really excited about having my weekly meetings with the site principals or assistant principals. The other piece, the key piece, something that I believe here in Farmersville is a need and a continued need, and that we're all recognizing that together and partnering, is related to professional development. How do we work best in our classrooms to support all students? How do we meet the needs of our students on IEPs in the classroom and outside? The bottom line is we have a basic understanding and an agreement. All of our students have the ability to learn. Some of them just learn in different ways and at different times. And so working on how to figure that out together, it's starting to be a good journey for that. The last piece to what's working well is just creating the systems and procedures to determine eligibility. When we look at each of our kids and they're presenting their challenges to us, how you learn, how you feel, how you perceive school in general. And what do we do as a staff to test, observe, build relationships with kids to determine what path they need? Do they need a Section 504 plan? Do they need intervention? Or do they need to be put on an IEP? And so that is definitely work in progress. So areas of improvement. Of course, we're in program improvement with the state, and we do have plans to move forward to address those concerns, both with literacy, math, disproportionality due to eligibility and things of that nature. Prepping our files for county and state review, making sure, again, students, we're best representing you with the best work possible and documenting it in ways that we're enriching you academically and socially, and showing that we're making progress for you. Systems and procedures towards eligibility, like looking at our MTSS protocols. My buddy back there, Mr. Mendez, raise your hand. working closely with that guy to look at what is our pathway? What is our due process? What are our commitments to making sure that students are all receiving the quality individual attention they need to be successful? And then, of course, the execution of our professional development plans. That's professional development for myself, my special education team, site principals, general education teachers, and of course, the special education team, whether that's our school psychologists or our special ed teachers. And then, of course, legally defensible documents. And so students, I'm talking to you. You know, we work with you different ways in the classrooms, right? And so there's a balance with that. It's called compliance. And sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's not. But we as the adults in your lives in the educational system have to follow a certain set of rules in how we apply a standard of care to your learning and how we document that. And that means we work together closely with your teachers, your principals, other school staff, your athletic coaches, whoever it is, and your parents and guardians to determine the best path for you. And that is really fun, exciting work. Or it can be, unless you need some work in that area. And then the last piece is just building our teams, building trust, having confidence in each other, and making sure that we're all, you know, messaging the same thing in our desire to work with kids and to always do better and meet students where they're at so that they can be successful and have any path in life they choose. Okay, so next time I come before you, I'm going to go a little bit deeper and have a strategic plan for you. But right now, looking at our students, there are some things we can do a little bit better. In many districts, including small ones surrounding us, we have what's called a special day class, or SDC. Now, we might think, okay, kids are going to be in a separate setting, a separate classroom, but that's not what it is. It's an as-needed, individualized basis where sometimes a student needs access to maybe a different type of curriculum, maybe a smaller class size, maybe 1 to 10, 1 to 15. They might need access to a different type of learning environment, or they might need extra help with social emotional learning or other needs that can only be met in a different type of setting other than the general education setting. So with that said, it's time to get creative, and I'm ready to do that. So looking at our facilities, being creative in what that looks like, having a separate classroom, maybe separate restrooms, depending on what the kids' needs are, maybe working on independent living skills and having kitchens and things of that nature to do cooking or to receive a certificate in food handling or management, things like that. Looking at our staffing, finding ways to incentivize folks to want to join our team to do better, deeper things for kids. So maybe that could be maybe another psychologist, maybe a BCBA, additional SPED teachers to support the students in their learning. And then my last slide. So this is a very rough projection, but in looking at our school sites and across our grade level spans, right now, walking amongst our schools, and this, of course, would be a team decision with parents and guardians and looking at data points to determine the need, the desire to engage in a creative class situation. We have 43 students. That's 22.6% of our special education population. So this was my last slide. I wanted to leave this with everyone to kind of process for a minute. And then again, leaving it open for questions. And then of course, I'll be coming back to you with a deeper, more strategic plan on how we would better serve the major portion of these students.
John? My question to you would be the special day classes. I think that's essential, and we need something like that. maybe you can bring something to us in regards to that, for we can look at that, because it is a need for these kids. I mean, unfortunately, but we do have a lot of kids here that need that special attention, to where I'm supportive in regards to having a special class.
Thank you, and I appreciate that support, and you're absolutely right. In addition to the student population I just showed you, preschool through 12th grade, we're also servicing right now through special education infants in the community. Kiddos that live in Farmersville that are 0 to 3, that we're meeting with Bright Start, we're meeting with FACES, we're meeting with outside organizations and other daycare agencies and preschools. And we're saying, okay, we're looking at the data, we're having conversations with parents and guardians. We know we're going to offer a speech assessment before they turn 3. We know we're going to be looking at autism rating scales. So right now, we have 17 kiddos, 0 to 3, out in the community that we're already looking at providing special education services for. So I know that if we start this work together, sooner rather than later, we're going to be prepared for all those kids coming in. So I'm really excited about that.
Ms. Moore?
Preemptively speaking, I know that you had previously mentioned in another conversation that there's going to be an increase of students with plans. That number right now is expected to grow, correct?
Absolutely. At our last county directors meeting for special education, post-COVID, they did share some data with us in which it was startling to learn that the special education population in Tulare County alone has gone up by 50%. So in the next couple years, we're looking at another projection of 30 to 40% more students coming into our schools. So we need to get ahead of that, be proactive, make sure that all of our stakeholders, all of our partners, our gen ed teachers, our sped teachers, and our families and our community know what we have to offer. We feel confident in what we're doing, and we know we're bending over backwards for all of our kids.
John?
I think you're doing a great job, and it's nice to be informed. We know every child learns differently, right? And once we identify these children, I think we can be successful, even more successful. But I think the big part of it is the parents in the home. Right? We only have them half a day, and then they go home. So we have to teach those parents too. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the short notice and being able to present. So I think it's time for this board to start considering building the infrastructure for the students that are coming. It's time for us to start looking to building the classrooms that have maybe a kitchen, maybe a dining, and bathrooms inside to be able to accommodate the students in the learning environment and help the teachers as well to be able to teach. So thank you very much for the short, term around on the presentation. And I can't wait to hear more from you on the next one.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luke.
7.0, people to be heard. 7.1, approval of use of school facility fee waiver. Farmersville High School Stadium for Farmersville Youth Football Playoffs, Christian Cervantes.
Good evening, members of the board, superintendent. My name is Christian Cervantes. I'm the president of youth football. I originally came at the beginning of the season, and I put the wrong dates. You could say our season's about to finish this week, and I didn't put the playoff dates on there. So I'm here to try to get the playoff dates and get the facility fee waiver. And I know we'll take on the custodial fees like we always do. So if you have any questions.
Are we making playoffs?
We have one team for sure now, and then 2, maybe 3, hopefully.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by John Alvarez, second by Samar Hernandez. Any other questions by the board?
Just one condition. You must win or you pay the fees. No, just kidding.
Pressure. Winning does help.
Okay. No other questions from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right.
4-0. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have
you.
good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
8.0, public comments. Members of the public may address the board on any agenda item or other item of interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Before and during the governing board's consideration of the item, the board is not able to discuss or take action on any item not appearing on the agenda. Pursuant to board policy, the board may limit individual comments to no more than 3 minutes and individual topics to 20 minutes. Please begin your comments by stating your name.
Board President, we don't have any. Any cards today.
Any of the students
Any of the students want to
Like-
speak?
speak? No? Okay.
Anybody? I can assure you that they might not have anything to say right now, but when they speak, watch out.
Okay. All right. Sure.
This is Lauren, and this is Westbrook, and the way these students articulate their, okay, literally brought a tear to my eye. Okay, you guys are doing an amazing job up there. Public speaking is one of the hardest things. This is Lauren, I know you sit in the back, I know you so well, you're such a humble man. But the work that you put in, and the partnership that you've given this Westbrook in the last couple of years has made a huge difference. And continue to make.
I also have something to add to that. So I know that there is a Spanish Creed competition happening locally at Golden West in the spring. And I would really, really like it if they lost against us. So yes, let's make this happen.
Unfortunately, I don't speak Espanol. Poquito, so that's why I said I'm really gonna lean on our Spanish teacher.
Okay. Going once, going twice. No one else? All right. 8.1, superintendent comments.
Board President, board members, I do have a couple of things, but I want to start off first of all by thanking our beautiful students that are here today. You are the reason why we exist, and everything that we do is because of you. And so the only favor that I ask is that you continue to spread the word, because everything that we do is for you. So by you being here is so important, and it's life-changing, because you're gonna eventually become those leaders that we need in the future. And eventually you'll be sitting up here or running a school or teaching a class or working with FFA, all of the things that need to be done for our community. So if we can please join in giving them a big round of applause to our students. Mhm. It's okay, mijo. You can pat yourself on the other shoulder too. I do have a couple of announcements. We do have a 2023 District Leadership Institute for school board members, school administrators, county committee on school district organization on Thursday, January 19th in 2023 at the Tulare County Office of Education at the Redwood Conference Center. So we want to make that announcement. I have a few other announcements. So as if you recall my 100-day plan, I have a 100-day plan, and part of it is to make sure that I am communicating with all elements, all partners in the district. And one of the ones that we have not been able to have and we want to have is with our community. So this goes to you, children, because I'm going to need your help. So we're planning 2 community forums. On November the 9th at 7 o'clock in Spanish. Va a ser totalmente en español. And on November 16th at 7 o'clock, all in English. We were going to do them both bilingual, but you tend to lose a lot in the translation, and I want to make sure that our parents are heard. We were able to get the Kiwanis Club to sponsor this event. So it's a Kiwanis sponsored event that'll be held at the Boys and Girls Club Community Center. And it's an opportunity to meet the new superintendent and for the new superintendent to get to meet members of the community. So flyers will be going out. I'll be working on that soon to get that out to everybody. So I appreciate any support that you can give us. Next is that we have the LCAP, the Local Control Accountability Plan, and that's the plan that decides how we spend the money for the district. And so one of the things is that every year we have to review the LCAP, we have to review the data, and we have to get input from the community. That includes you, especially you, because this is the money that's going to be spent on you. And it'd be great for you to have your voice heard. And so we're going to be distributing the LCAP because it is a public document. And I'm working with technology so we can send it to every home via Parent Square and through email to every staff member as well. So everybody has a copy of it that they can look at it. And whenever we do open it up for feedback, at least you have an idea what the document is about. The other piece is that I want to apologize to our student board member. He's like, why? I wasn't able to get the information that you asked for yet regarding the food service issues. So I promise you next meeting, I'll get you the information that you need. I did contact, but I wasn't able to get the information in time. So I apologize to you in public, and I'll get that to you next meeting. Do you forgive me?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're too kind.
Yeah. And while we're on the theme of redemption, we do have gifts for our junior high and high school students that Ms. Rosemary will be giving out to they'll probably end up giving it to you, Mr. Sanchez, and you give it over to the high school principal. And it's a bag full of lanyards and different kinds of beautiful gifts to give to our students that are involved with yearbook. Okay, so all the yearbook kids. Yeah, I was trying to remember what are they going for. And also, I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Manuel Perez. Today we had an amazing event with the leadership of the district to do a self-assessment, a much needed time for us to assess as a district and get an honest view of how we're doing. So I want to commend him along with the people from Tulare County Office of Ed who led the discussion. And I know it's only the beginning of a series of events that we'll be having in order to get that feedback. And lastly, on the 17th, we had our DAC-DLAC meeting, and that is para todos los papás que son aprendices de inglés. Very important that we get the parents to come to these meetings, so we're going to continue to try to do outreach and get that taken care of. So those are my announcements. I want to thank you very much. You don't have to apply.
10.0, K through 8 issues. 10.1, approval to attend the kindergarten conference on January 13th through the 15th, 2023 at Santa Clarita, California.
Motion.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 10.2, approval of theater art classes to attend the Roger Rocca's Diner Playhouse production on November 18, 2022 at Fresno, California.
Motion.
Second.
Want a comment?
Motion by John Alvarez, second by Samar Hernandez. Mr. Alvarez?
Yeah, you know, our art's starting to grow, and we have a new Greek theater built across the street, and we're looking for young kids to come and be in our plays and speak and things like that. As we start to grow, it'd be great to see you guys out there and speaking in front of the public, right? Which is a little tough to do, but I think it's a great thing. I think we're moving in the right direction.
Any other comments?
No, I was asking, we're building a theater?
So,
The city is.
The amphitheater.
The amphitheater across from the high
The
school.
city doesn't know yet, but
We're gonna utilize it.
yes, for our kids. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's across the street from the high school. Have you seen all that? That's for you guys as well. So you guys can create plays, tenured students, you know what I mean? And just let it go.
In fact, we volunteered you all for the first day. Did you know that? Did you sign the paper? Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. Eleven high school issues. 11.1, approval to attend the California Athletic Directors Conference on April 19th to the 23rd, 2023 in Santa Clarita, California.
Motion.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 11.2, approval of donations from Kiwanis of Farmersville to Farmersville High School Choir Program. Move. Motion by John Vasquez,
Second.
second by Zamar Hernandez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
3-0-1. 11.3, approval of donations from Kiwanis of Farmersville to Farmersville High School upcoming choir dance. Move.
Second.
Motion by John Vasquez, second by Samar Hernandez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
3-0-1. 11.4, approval of donation from Manuel Mendez to Farmersville Choir Program. Move.
Second.
Motion by John Vasquez, second by Samar Hernandez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 11.5, approval of community donation, J. Alvarez Martinez Rodriguez to Farmersville High School Welding Program. Move.
Second.
Motion by John Vasquez, second by Samar Hernandez. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed?
Abstain.
3-0-1. 12.0 curriculum. 12.1, approval of contract with occupational therapy services in person.
Motion.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions?
I do have a question. Ms. Barba, is this single contract taking care of all of our needs for occupational therapy?
Yes, we currently have 9 students that have OT service in their IEP.
Mhm.
In addition, this person will work with us to assess additional students as necessary,
Mhm.
take observations, and work with IEP teams in determining needed support.
In the case that upon assessment, there are more students that can, or that would require occupational therapy, what is the limit on that per person?
It depends on the student.
Okay.
And it depends on their mobility needs
Mhm.
and how many hours it would take in a year to
Mhm.
determine services.
Okay.
If they meet eligibility, that would be discussed as an IEP team. And it could look at 30 minutes once a week or 60 minutes a month. And it varies.
Okay.
I'd be happy to come back if there are significant changes in December or January and update the board.
But for now, we're taken care of.
Yes.
Okay,
we're
thank
good.
No other questions.
Any other questions from any board member? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 12.2, approval of TCOE College Career Technical Education Incentive Grant, MOU Round 8.
Motion with a question.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Mr. Alvarez?
Matching funds, where do the matching funds come from? Who would that be, Jason, maybe?
Yes, for the most part, when there's a match that's required, in events such as this, we try and look for other categoricals that we can match from, but in this case, it would probably be money that's set aside in the budget for this type of activity.
As in general fund or as in
Yes.
categorical?
We always look first to see if there's a categorical that we can use.
Mhm.
We want to try and use those first, but if there isn't something that meets the requirements, we can't use that, then, step two is to go to general fund.
Okay, thank you.
We, just for clarification, we do have set aside money on the LCAP of LCFF for CTE.
Is this round in our matching funds is going to cover all the way to 2024? Or are we going to do different rounds between now and then?
Most districts are doing different rounds because the funding shifts here and there, so we're taking it year by year.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 12.3, approval to attend NCN Circle Keepers Process Training on November 1st through the 3rd, 2022, at Los Angeles, California.
Motion.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 12.4, approval of University of California Merced Center for Education Partnership Talent Search Agreement.
Motion.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions?
Just comment. Great program. Great program.
Is there any way we can invite them
Of course,
to present?
yeah, I can ask them to present.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if they'll be able to present next board meeting, but as soon as I can, and I'll let you know in the Friday letter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. Twelve point five, approval of University of California Merced Center for Educational Partnership Student Information.
Motion.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions?
Just a comment, maybe a question, but the release of information, the students, parents, we always have signatures from parents for releasing all information.
Yes, that's part of the packet every year.
Okay. Thank you.
Does that cover Merced, or do they have to do different plans? Because the
Uh,
information that they sign is for Farmersville
Yes,
District, right?
Merced has their own form that they fill out.
There's an application. for-
Yes, and they have they have to give parental consent.
Okay. No other questions from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 13.0 personnel. 13.1 approval of classified personnel, item 13.1.1 through items 13.1.7. Move. Motion by John Vasquez,
Second.
second by John Alvarez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 13.2, approval of extracurricular activities, coach personnel, item 13.2.1 through items 13.2.2.
Motion.
Motion by John Alvarez,
Second.
second by John Vasquez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 13.3, personnel action report information only. 13.4, approval of Tulare County Office of Education, new teacher leadership development program.
Move.
Second.
Motion by John Vasquez, second by Ismael Hernandez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. $13.5, acknowledgement of the California School Employee Associations and its Farmersville Chapter 518, initial proposal to the district regarding collaborative bargaining agreement negotiations for the 2022 through 2023. 13.6, acknowledgement of the district's initial proposal to the California School Employee Association and its Farmersville Chapter 518 regarding collective bargaining agreement negotiations for 2022 through 2023. 14.0, board business. 14.1, approval to change the November board meeting minute date to November 7th, 2022.
I'll second with discussion.
Okay. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. For discussion, Mr. Vasquez?
Board members, are you, I mean, I have no problem with it. We find out I do have a training that day, so if we did have a board meeting, I will probably be here late or not be here at all, but I will go with that motion. All the other board members also agree with that as well?
Wednesday and Thursday was,
Pardon?
I have class Wednesday, Thursday, so I couldn't be here.
So, okay.
So I think either way we'd be down.
Yeah, after thinking about it, I figured, hey, it'll probably work out for me just as well, so yeah. I'll go
So
with
do
that.
you want to keep it on the Tuesday then?
No,
Is that
keep
what
it on
can I
Monday.
say?
I just wanted to say that after thinking about it, I thought about keeping it on a Tuesday, but after thinking about it and finding out this morning that I have training that day for, a few hours afterwards, so kind of figured it'll work out well for me as well.
So you're just going to be probably arriving, being late?
Pardon?
You probably just be late a little bit?
No, I'll be here for good, for
Okay.
sure. It's Tuesday, I'll be here late. I
Okay.
figured I'll go with Monday.
All right. So you stay with your motion?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. Can you make sure that we publish that, sir?
Yes. As soon as tomorrow, we'll publish it and then we'll post it on the door.
14.2, approval to schedule date for the 2-and-2 meeting with the City of Farmersville Unified School District collaboration.
Move to have President and the VP, that'll be our clerk, to attend that meeting to represent our board
Which date?
on the,
November
which day
2nd?
would be good for,
I'm good any day.
okay.
It's up to you, George.
November 2nd?
Then I'll go with November 2nd works, so I'll go with November 2nd.
Okay.
Second. Your second?
Motion by John Vasquez, second by John Alvarez for Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. Would you let them know, please? and
Yes.
notify 'em?
Of course.
And would it be here on our district to be able to facilitate it?
Yeah, here at the board.
14.3, consideration of any item any board member wishes to have on a future agenda or provide written update. Mr. Vasquez.
Yes, I have one thing. Dr. Chavez, can you look into the cost of possibly getting some more, I don't know if you call them golf carts or those for the sites, especially maybe for Hester and Snowden, and maybe the other existing sites that have carts that maybe need new ones as well?
Yes, sir. I'll do one better. We already have a quote
Okay, well, you
for
beat me on that one, didn't you?
for a golf cart, approximately about 11.5 is the estimated cost. But I want to thank Pat for looking into it, and he's still looking at others. there might be cheaper ones, but that would translate to more upkeep. So we want to make sure, and we're looking at carts that have the extra seat in
Right.
case they need to transport kids.
Can you look into that for me and get some price for us for?
So we have one for 11.5 more or less, right? So we
Only
can,
one?
right now, and we'll look into, I only asked them to look for one, sir, because initially it was just Hester.
Okay,
So you want me to ask for the second one?
I want you to look at all sites. We need.
Most
we need-
sites have golf carts.
Well, we'll probably need updated, but I know some of the cars we've had there forever, but just look into it for me and just.
Okay, it's
see what we
approximately
can
about
do.
11.5 each.
Okay.
So if we were to do the math and we did one additional one, I'd have to check. I would have to inquire with the site principals in the back. And site principal, do you mind if I ask? Site principals, you raise your hand if you need another golf cart. Raise your hand.
You have an opportunity to get another golf cart. Come on, throw it out there.
For the high school?
That's fine.
Okay,
Okay.
so it'd be two then.
Okay.
Mhm.
Speak up. If you're having them with duct tape and you need to replace them, this is the
Yeah.
opportunity to do.
No, we're not giving away carts. So Snowden? Okay,
Yeah.
so one for Snowden. Hester, you were on the list, so we have three then, sir.
It sounds like FFA wants a gator. Can you find out if they can get a gator?
Frosted site.
They want an alligator?
Or a mule.
I'm just asking for you to look into that and see what our needs are in all school sites. I know especially the two small schools, Snowden and Hester.
Okay, no
Okay.
problem.
Okay, thank
I
you.
can get that to you as an action item if you like by next meeting.
And make sure we
Either-
have one here for the.
You want one for the board?
Especially for Alvarez, since he can't, he's gonna hear his knee.
So Pat, we're looking at,
And look at the mule
well, the
or
rest,
gator.
they said no, they don't want it. It's only Hester, Snowden, and the high school. Junior high, do you need a golf cart? You're good. Yeah, we got one for the high school.
Can you look at a gator or a mule for the FFA program?
A mule? Oh, you said a gator or a mule? Oh, gator.
We're just.
Okay.
Just know that my personal interpretation is literal, so you're talking about a mule.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Two-wheel drive or
You might
four-wheel
as well
drive?
make it a 4-wheel drive.
Just give him a donkey.
Okay,
That'll be fine.
so Pat, can you get that by next board meeting? And Rosemary will put it in the agenda. Okay, done.
Thank you.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yeah, so a couple of things. When I was at the volleyball game the other night, I did notice that there was a lack of cheerleaders there, and I was made aware that the reason is that the cheerleaders can't support all activities right now because there's only one coach and one team. And so I would like to look into perhaps having a conversation with Mr. Davis about having a JV cheer team that can support with alternative activities, because the band was there and students were there, but there was no cheerleaders leading the crowd. And so if we can look into either a JV coach so that there's two teams, or to see what we can do. The second is I would like to address our student board members' concerns and see what's up with the water fountains and why there's a taste issue. I mean, I know it's probably because of stuff in the water, but why it's tasting funny to students, as well as a camera for the locker rooms, or not in the locker rooms, but at the entrance of the locker.
Yeah, we can't do in the law.
Yeah. And then I would like to see, at least as a temporary, and I say temporary because this requires a much more extensive solution, but to see that if our students are staying late at the FFA facilities or the AG facilities, that they have access to open restrooms, because we need open restrooms for our students. Same thing, looking into different funds for the truck and that shaded area, what the feasibility of that would be on the current location that we have, and or an estimate if we are moving the farm, when that's happening, and what we can do to improve in the meantime, because we can prepare for the future, but our current students also need to have proper facilities as well. So, and then I think that was it. Oh, also, I would like information on how the volleyball team is doing.
5th.
They won.
Did they win it?
All right.
All right.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thursday,
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez.
Well, they'll be home. They'll be home throughout the playoff if they keep on winning.
yeah, which is cool.
That's great. That's great news.
Anything else?
They've covered about everything, but, you know, the kids, FFA, they have access to get through their own gate. They unlock the gate and they come in. So probably just getting the key to a bathroom would be great. While they're there, they can get to open the bathroom and lock it up. Because they're there Saturdays, they're there Sundays, they're there early in the morning, they're late in the evening, all these type of things. And it's too much for maintenance to be on top of that. You know what I mean? So anyway,
Pat, if you could look into that
Yeah.
piece. With regards to returning back to the water, we did that in previous districts where we put in an order that the companies that come out and check the pH and everything of the drinking fountains. So that way, and maybe we should check all the sites.
yeah, we have the Spencers everywhere. Yeah.
So let's make sure that the kids can drink it.
Because there have been cases in other districts where they actually find
Oh, okay.
things. And so, yeah, it becomes a bigger issue.
Do we have filters on those? Do you know?
No.
We don't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you can get it tested.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
To enable and facilitate FFA, how can you look into a washroom, outside washroom? And also, would you be able to look and work with Ms. Barbara and figure out what would be the cost of building those classrooms, the day classrooms for our students? Which
Remember we were talking about the modules? Can you give a rough estimate how much?
Costs right now with the integrated science, so meeting with them next week, so I'll incorporate that as well into an estimate for the building costs.
see if so those are going to be with individual restrooms, probably kitchen and dining area for the students, depending on the needs that they on the sites.
Yeah, it would depend on the need of the site. So we're looking into like portable, like the traditional siding portable.
Mhm.
And then we're also looking at a classroom setting after, for like preschool. So we have a few options going. They're coming out next Thursday, at 10 a.m. And we're gonna walk the site. I'd love to come by the GAG and look at the building, maybe get some ideas from you guys. So we can incorporate the cost to help support our ad.
Can Ms. Barrow be part of that when you guys are having those people come by,
Absolutely.
and then kind of figure out what it would cost one on each school site and where can we put it on the school site?
Another thing real quick, the used to be the government school, right? We're thinking about doing a pre-K out there. Those have bathrooms in them. The mobiles that are out by the maintenance department,
Those two do have restrooms.
they have bathrooms in them. Yeah? Okay.
That's all I have. Anything else from the board? Nope. Okay.
Did we ask our student board member?
He's
Juan Pablo, do you have anything?
No.
Do you
Other
want
than-
information?
We
on?
owe him though the food by
Pizza.
next meeting.
Pizza machine, you know.
Okay. You sure? 15.0, business services. 15.1, facility presentation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pat, and I'm the Director of MOT. Just a few updates. I know we've had a long evening of conversations. So on the facilities update, before I do that, I want to let you know I did do from the notes from the walk that we did on the campuses. I provided notes to all the board members. And in those notes, I've gotten with the maintenance team and we've identified the importance and when we can do it, and there's a timeline there for you. So starting at the high school, we are working on rekeying the campus. We've had key evidence out. They've collaborated with every door on the campus, including the pool, all gates, and we will be rekeying December 19th. And Miss Emily Coop will only have one key for the entire campus.
She doesn't like those 100 keys. She doesn't
Right,
like that.
right. So we are finishing. Chris, if you could bring up the bleachers. We have 9 new bleachers being put together right now, and those should be finished this week. They're transportable. We're going to go ahead and locate 3 2 ADA ones around the pool with an additional one, and then the other 6 we're going to be putting out on the football stadium. So that way that'll replace those older ones, and we can utilize the older ones temporarily out on the freshman ball field, JV field. So those are almost completed. It has been quite the chore. Welding booth and walkway project are still with DSA. So we are pending DSA. I did reach out with the architect company. We are going to piggyback the ag department's walk approach to their tough shed. So once it's approved, we can initially start that right away. We don't have to wait for the welding booth project itself. So we're going to piggyback off of that to help expedite it quicker. Reinstall the pool motor. Chris, if you wouldn't mind, I got to say, I want to congratulate our entire maintenance team. They're awesome. I want the MOT staff as well. The I-beam you're seeing in there and the setup, they had to manhandle a 1,000-pound motor to get it out of that hole. So maintenance team designed, double-checked with engineering with American Incorporated, and constructed a pulley system for that motor so we don't have to run into that again. It was all done in-house. It was installed in-house. They did an amazing job. So I just wanted to throw something up out there so you can see. They're pretty creative. So the pool motor lift, there it is. The pool motor should be installed tomorrow. We were supposed to get it back tomorrow and get it reinstalled to get the pool back up and running. At the junior high, finishing the 2 small concrete areas near the gym. So the final has been done on the shade structure project, and there's those 2 pieces that we had to leave out for the project until the project was finalized. So that will be happening next Friday, so we can finish off that area and remove those trip hazards. Concrete replacement cost at the quad area near the band room, where the 2 trees are and the sitting benches. Cost estimate of about $70,000 to remove it, replace the concrete, replace the benches, and we wouldn't be taking the trees out. They would provide planter type openings in that area. So that may have to go out to bid because it does exceed our 60,000 limit, but we're going to be looking into that. Freedom School, cost to reseal, restripe asphalt area, about $22,000. That would take care of the back area where the kids play currently. It's ready to reseal, and that would include all restriping, all the dots, all the numbering of rooms. So I thought that was halfway decent price. Also, Donco Gutters will be providing an estimate for gutter systems for the Freedom Campus. Snowden School, concrete work to replace the gravel driveway at the student drop-off area. So the estimated cost for the driveway portion would be $59,548. Concrete work to replace the sidewalk area with a drive approach would be $28,455, and then I've already talked with the city and they recommended me to the county to where we could coordinate with them for permits if we decided to go that direction. Because that area is really bad, the concrete is. Hester School resurfacing and striping asphalt in the play area. I've coordinated with the principal and she's got some really cool designs to go back in there for the kids. It was really a nice, interesting look. So that cost came out to $23,395, a little bit more because of the colors. Nah, just kidding. So then the new property by Snowden School, we are working on getting set up to do our lead and asbestos testing with MD Concrete and Demolition on the 3 structures. Once that's clear, scheduling to remove the 3 structures and then all the debris, the concrete, take it down to soil. That will be scheduled after the testing's done. And integrated design will walk the property next week to provide an estimated cost for development for parking, for the new bus shop, and the other building that we had talked about in the past. So at this time, I'd like to open it up to any questions anybody may have.
John?
No question. Keep it going. Take care of business.
Yes, Amar?
Do we have an estimate on how long that walkway project at the high school is going to take so that FFA or the ag department can use the shed?
It's in DSA's
Okay.
hands right now. I checked today. They had no response from them yet. The architect didn't.
You don't know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who can.
I wish I did. I would have loved to have that thing done already.
Okay. And then, is there anything else we're forgetting? Site administrators, is there anything that we need that's pressing? That's not on here? No? Okay.
Let me inject. We are working on a new truck and trailer estimate. We just haven't gotten it yet. As soon as we do, keep you in the loop.
Just the trailer or truck too?
Truck and trailer.
Thank you.
The question on the pull motor, did we have to get that rewound or what's the deal?
Yeah, it had to be rewound. First, they tried to dry it
Yeah.
for 4 days. That didn't work, so they went ahead and rewound it. We're also looking into getting a second motor as a backup. That way, if this should happen again, it's just a matter of a motor change out, and then we can do the repair. So there's no downtime like now.
Okay.
Were we able to figure out what caused the first one to fail?
Yeah, there was, the failure came from when the pool was designed to drain to the district's drain out by the football stadium. There's a main drain there with 2 pumps. Those pumps aren't designed to keep up with the mass flow that the pool delivers. So it really is not set up correctly, so we get the backflow filled that way. But our maintenance team, what they've done is they put together a separate backflow for emergency to flow out to help maintain that water. So hopefully it doesn't happen again, where the backup pump would be actually inside the well where the motor's at, and then it would distribute out to the lawn.
Thank you. Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. 15.2, approval of award bid for camera installations at Farmersville Junior High, Freedom School, and Snowden School.
Motion for recommendation, Sebastian.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. .3, Approval Sebastian's Corp. Contract for Farmersville Junior High, Freedom School, Snowden School, Calmer Installation Project.
Motion.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 15.4, adoption of the emergency resolution 21/22-12 to repair weld at Head Start School.
Motion.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions? All in,
How fast can this be taken care of? How fast can this be taken care of?
They're about 8 to 12 weeks out before any drilling can happen with any drilling company in the Central Valley. However, I am working with American Incorporated to using temporary water system from our building nearby to fill the tank.
Okay.
And add a compressor. So we're working on putting that together so we can at least get water out to the lawns and trees until we can.
Thank you. No further questions.
any other questions from the board? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? 4-0. 15.5, approval to add, remove authorized signers for calendar year 2022.
Motion.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? 4-0. 15.6, approval of request for proposal, RFP for legal services.
Motion.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? 4-0. 15.7. Approval of actual study.
Motion.
Second. Motion by John Alvarez, second by John Vasquez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 17.0, future meeting date, 17.1, November 7th, 2022. December 13, 2022. 20.0, adjournment to closed session at 8:37 PM. 21.1, public employee discipline dismissal release complaint. Government Code 54957. 20.2, conference with legal counsel, extending litigation, subdivision C and D, and 1 of section 54956.9, Farmersville Teachers Association versus Farmersville Unified School District, perp case SA-CA-307-E. 20.3, conference with legal counsel, anticipation litigation, government code section 54956.9, significant exposure to litigation, parentheses subdivision D of section 54956.9. 20.4, conference with labor negotiations, government code 54957.6. It is the intention of the board to meet in closed session to review its position and instruct its designated reps, agency designated representatives, Jeff Wimp, Jason Caff, name of organizations, FTA, CSCA, management. 20.5, conference with real property negotiators, government code 54956.8. Agency negotiators, Brian Martin, attorney, AALRR. Under negotiations, price, and terms. Thank you for coming. Take a 5-minute break.
Good night, students. Have a safe trip home, unless you're staying through the end.